Okay. To begin with, let us start looking at delegation and accountability. And there's a lot of practice work we have to do. Okay. Delegation and accountability. So let me also tell you guys, when we are saying these are not people problems, they are actually process problems and you can fix them. So when you say leader not delegating clearly, that means no clarity on how it should look like. Expectations are not stated. Timelines are not given. There is no ownership who has to do it. Feedback is also given too late. To understand how do we do this delegation and accountability, let us first of all do an activity. All right. Now, all of you will be actually one group. In that group, now a person whom I delegated made a silly mistake and the project got escalated. I had to take ownership, though it was their mistake. Okay. Now, tell me, how can you improve this? Write down, because I'm going to discuss this and then give you a how would you do? You have delegated something and he made a silly mistake and this entire project got escalated. Okay. And you as a leader or a manager, you had to take the ownership, though it was the team member's mistake. Now, how can you improve this? You tell me. It's a challenge, common challenge. Has anybody experienced this?
Yes, ma'am.
So I want you all to, first of all, how can you do it better? What went wrong in this delegation? Tell me. Write down 3 points. Write down 3 points. And this is not something I have fabricated. This is something, it actually happened. Okay. A person, as a manager, I delegated, made and the person to whom I delegated made a silly mistake and the project got escalated and I had to take the ownership, though it was their mistake. What were the 3 things you think went wrong in this? Yeah, please. Unless and until you start interacting and telling me, you can't really learn. Let us understand this. Yeah.
I
Yes,
think
Sid.
the review process,
Hmm?
the review process of the work that the team member did, that should have been more thorough.
Acha. Review process. When does review process come?
Once the task is over and is assigned for review to the senior member.
Yeah. So don't you think, first of all, when review process comes in the end because the task is over.
Yes.
So the task was not done, it went up, it got escalated because maybe let us start with the starting of the process. Maybe the task itself was not explained clearly. Will you agree?
Yeah, that.
Will you
But
agree?
it was a silly mistake, right? So I think the task would
Yeah.
have been, yeah.
Even that silly mistake could have been done properly if, first of all, the task should have been explained very clearly. That could be one thing.
Okay. Okay.
No, possible, no? Before the
Yes.
review, you will come to, first of all, explanation of the task. Then,
Yes.
while the task was being done, did he check, interim check?
Yeah, that could have
Hmm?
been done as well.
It could
Yes.
have. Then sometimes what happens, you have given the task, but when you are explaining the task, did you explain the SLAs or the quality parameters? Huh? Then did you check with the team member his understanding? Because sometimes I, as a boss, I know everything. So when I'm telling something, oh, maybe he understands everything. I'm assuming. Did I confirm their understanding? Got
Right.
it? Got it? I want everybody to understand that, please. Simple thing. Huh? One is, have you explained the task? Was there an interim check? Did we give him a clarity on the quality parameters or the SLAs? SLAs are what? Service level agreements. I'm sure all of you know every client will give you SLAs, no? In terms of timelines, budget, quality, etc.
Yes.
Then, did you confirm from your member that understanding whether he has understood just as the way I am trying to explain or I want it? Okay. Now, to do that, please use a white book because this is all your own challenges and start using a book and write there. Now, to do this very well, there is a 5-step mode. This is a tool. Okay. You can use a 5-step mode. And what is this 5-step mode? Use what, why, how, when, confirm. What is that? What? Please write it down when you are having a problem like this. I want you to apply it. What, why, how, when, confirm. What means? Explain the task clearly. Clear task explanation. Why? Full picture, context. Why do you think it is important? What it is? Not just do this. So that the other person understands the entire context. Context is important. How will be the process, quality expectations, everything? When will be the timelines and checkpoints? You can also say interim checking points. And what kind of checkpoints? And then confirm is what? Ask the employee, team member, restate the task. Have you understood just as the way I have told you everything? How it will be measured, how will it be checked, what will be the quality parameters? So can somebody repeat, guys? This is very important because I will tell you these are not uncommon. These are common things for all organizations and they overlook these things. So if you follow this what, why, how, when, confirm, you will be able to really reduce the number of mistakes your team member will do when you're delegating. Can somebody tell me what are the five steps?
Nirmal,
I'm
I have
also
a
making
question.
you do. Huh?
Nirmal, I have a
Yeah.
question. Pritam here. So,
Tell me.
before going to what, why, how, when, and confirm, don't you think that a manager or a leader should assess the capability before delegating? Capability of the team member?
No. So here, when we are talking about, you have raised a very, very important question. Here we are talking about team members who are typically having the right skill sets, the right knowledge. But if in case you are saying, if so, then we have assumed, okay? But on a day-to-day work, you know that this person has these skills. But typically, if you are going to delegate something, a project, etc., definitely you need to consider that, hey, first of all, does he have the required skill sets, the required level of training, the required level of technology understanding to do this project? It's very, very important. Absolutely. But we are here assuming on a day-to-day basis when you are actually delegating work. Am I on the right page? Huh? You're getting me?
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah.
Because typically what happens when I'm recruiting people, say for example, you are a team manager or a team leader for medical coding. So when you're recruiting and you're onboarding people, you will test for their knowledge, you will test for their skills, some amount of experience, what kind of work he has done, everything. If it comes to skill, maybe you will make him do some coding work and ensure that he has the requisite skills for that job, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So does that answer your question? I don't know what's your name. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's a
Pritam.
very relevant question, especially when we talk about. I want to bring this aspect also because all of you are dealing with team members, especially when we are doing goal setting at the beginning of the year. Do you all do goal setting for your team members?
Yes, sir.
Or
Yeah,
maybe quarterly? Huh? Yes, no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
For your team members, when at the beginning of the year, or maybe every quarter or every 6 months, when you do goal setting, saying what is goal setting, what is he supposed to do, right? Because as a team member, only when I know what I need, what I am supposed to do, then I will perform, right? So during the goal setting, what happens? You actually sit with your team member, then you will jointly do a conversation discussion where you are trying to understand what is the knowledge skill required for those goals. Are they very stretched goals? So that's the time when you're talking about everything. Do we need to give training? Do we need to give additional resources? Then, having agreed upon the goals, then how will they be measured? Not that I've given you a goal, but obviously it will also be measured. So, what will be the metrics, or what will be the parameters of your work, how you have done? So, all that will be discussed so that I, as a member, then I have a good understanding as to how this performance should look like, right? Then what happens? Then time does not get wasted. Then you are managing his performance. You are actually taking interim steps by mentoring, coaching, course correction. How is it going on? Okay, what is happening? But at the end of 3 months or 4 months after the project, if I'm going to check, then what's the point? Because sometimes he may have not done it properly. Then he'll say, hey, you have wasted all that time. Then does it become relevant at that point of time? Feedback? No. You have to keep checkpoints. You have to keep giving feedback. Okay. So that's about it. When we come to managing performance, we'll do that. Now, is this very clear? What, why, how, when, and confirm. Okay. This is a good model to use for delegation. So, what are the key takeaways for this delegation when you want to delegate? So, you have to have clarity, build ownership in him. You have to check where mistakes can happen. As a manager, do we look at that as a leader in the work where mistakes can happen and have to ensure that mistakes don't happen? Then you have to set clear standards so that rework does not happen. Because most of the time, what happens if frontline leaders are not looking, they have not set clear standards, then what happens? There is a lot of rework to happen. Again, recoding, develop, especially in development. So, checkpoints and clear standards. And then what happens? If at all escalation happens, then again check why this escalation happened. Where is the gap in that chain? So, will you all go back and do this? All of you? At least give me a commitment, guys. Huh?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I'm going to ask your HR, please. I'm sure their performance has improved. So, everybody will follow when you're doing a delegation because there are a lot of challenges. A lot of you have written some challenges with regard to delegation and accountability. So, can we proceed? All clear? Any clarification here on delegation? At least give me a thumbs up. Huh?
No, ma'am.
Guys,
Yeah.
yesterday you are very active, but today what's happening? Did you get your tea? Did you get your coffee? Did you get your snacks? Huh?
Because it's
All right.
weekends now, madam.
Huh?
It's
weekend.
weekend.
Weekend. Oh, all the more put little bit of more fire. Okay? I know. Okay? Yeah. Now, see, when you delegate, you can also it's a very interesting model. Do you know who is Eisenhower? Because Calcutta people are supposed to be rich in history. You know, they like history. Who is Eisenhower? Does that ring a bell somewhere? Eisenhower?
Dwight D.
president of
Eisenhower,
the-
man, the 34th president of United States, man.
Yeah.
Who is this person who told me that, please?
Uh,
Saurav?
yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Saurav, we are doing a virtual program. Others I would have given you a big, what is it? Big bar of chocolate for you. Huh? Anyway, virtual chocolate for you. Huh? Huh?
Thank you.
Absolutely, you are right. He was a president, and you also mentioned what? 39th president, right?
34th.
34th president. Great for your memory. I think excellent. quiz master you can become. Okay. Yes, he was our president. And when he was in his role as a president, he used to enforce his team people to ensure that they use this matrix where you can't become effective and efficient by doing everything yourself, right? So he said, what is very, very important and urgent, you do it yourself. Okay. And what you can delegate, things which others can do, and which are a waste. A lot of things, you consider them or, a waste of time, delete them. And things which may not be urgent, but which are important, spend more time on that. Okay. We'll understand more on this when we do time management. But it's a very excellent model. Eisenhower, the president, used to really ensure that all their people use this model so that they were, delegating a lot, which others could do, so that they would have more time to attend to what was urgent, important, and also what was not urgent, but important. Okay. So we are actually coming to time management. All these things are very familiar challenges. Too many meetings. Who says that? Everybody, I'm sure, will agree. Too many meetings.
110%.
When do we get time to do office work? Somebody said yes. Handling multiple projects. Yesterday also I heard that. Simultaneously. Where is the time? Absolutely. Having no effective tracking system. Prioritizing when multiple okay. Prioritizing when multiple high importance tasks arrive together. All are important. Making decisions under intense time pressure. How do we make? Somebody asked yesterday also. And managing emergency tasks. And what if I gave you a tool or a technique where you can really manage so that you can become effective? First of all, what you need to do? You have to understand. This is again a very important framework given by, I don't know how many of you heard of Stephen Covey. Have you heard of Stephen Covey? Yes? Anybody?
I have
Just
his
give me a
book.
thumbs up. Huh?
I have his book. This is
Have?
Sid.
If you have the time, please read a ebook or he has written a beautiful book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Okay? And one of the habit is managing their time. Tell me why, if you manage your time, you can be, one of the habits, you can be an effective leader. Tell me. Just tell me why. Can you expand your time beyond 24 hours?
No.
You can't expand. No,
ma'am.
not even Ambani can expand. No? Huh?
No, ma'am.
Everybody has only those 24 hours. No? So, because time is, limited, 24 hours, you have to rest. So, within that time, how do you manage that time, which is a very critical resource? You can be effective. No? I can spend it off by just doing something which is just urgent but not at all important. So I have to prioritize, learn to prioritize. Some people will say, very, very busy. I'm very busy. I don't get time. Some people say, no, I can manage a lot of things within the time. So people who are very busy, what do you think? They must be spending most of the time, what is urgent but not important. Agreed? Huh? Attending to phone call, attending to every call, doing things, sending mails, important. But you have to understand what is the most important activity. Let me allocate time. So, you have to understand that if you look at this quadrant, your activities can be urgent and not urgent. Look at your own office activities. Some of your activities are urgent and some of them are not urgent. Can you give me a list, one or two things which are urgent when you come to office?
Production
Please,
issues. Production
pardon?
issues.
Right away. Production issue is the very urgent and also what?
Important.
Important. Because why? Production, client impact. Agreed?
Yes.
So it will get into this urgent and can you see that? Quadrant one. Urgent and important because there is crisis. What leadership will you have? High task. Ensuring that the task is done because there is pressure. There are deadlines, right? It could be a deadline project. It could be something so urgent. So that's now. When you come to office, what could be not urgent? But it could be important. What are some of those activities?
Daily huddle. Daily huddle.
Pardon? Daily order. Okay.
Huddle. Like in the morning meeting, the
You're
huddle.
talking about the huddle.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
Okay. Then what else? Anybody else? Yeah.
Reply to emails, not very
Right.
urgent, but maybe important.
Reply to emails. They're not urgent, right? They're not urgent.
No,
But
not
some of
urgent.
the mails could be important. No?
Yeah, important. Yeah.
Because you have to send some client some feedback, etc. But
Yeah.
it is not something a crisis that you have to send it
Yeah.
right away. Maybe some planning you have to do, planning, no, of some
Yeah.
future project which are there in the pipeline, etc. Right. Now, urgent is something you have to do it right away, urgent, important, but they are not urgent, but they are important. So you can have your own time of doing it, right? You can allocate a time because they are important. You can allocate a time. Now, what are some of the activities which are urgent but not important? Mobile will be ringing all the time. Some calls will be sales calls, some calls. So can we do something about it? We can do, right? Now, I am coming to that. Meetings. Now, I want to know from all of you, is it mandatory that you have to attend all meetings? Or you can say that, hey, you can take a call on if it is very important, only you attend that meeting. Otherwise, you can be excused. Is that possible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Because at least when I was working, I could excuse myself because there are a lot of meetings where I only have to put just be a member, but I'm not the key person. Then what happens? I can say because I have other urgent work to do, so I will excuse myself. So a lot of you said there are too many meetings and we don't have time to do other works. So can you look at meetings and say, are these really important for me? Then can I politely ask her to be absent from those meetings where you can get some more time, right?
Right.
And then you have to check what are those activities which you feel are not important and also, but they look urgent, which you can avoid. Now you come to another quadrant, not urgent, not important. You tell me, what are some of those activities which can be not urgent, not important? I'm sure if you start doing a logging, I want all of you to start maintaining a diary every day, your activities, and then you will see that there will be some activities in not urgent and not important. Then you can see how you can reduce that number. Then that's how when you look at this, when you prioritize this way, then you will get more time. Okay. Now let us see how you are going to. I'm going to give you one. Activity. Okay. These are 10 items task list. Okay. I want all of you to take a picture and then just put one or read it. One. I want you to put this urgent import. I want you to use this. Where is it? Yeah. In this 1, 2, 3, 4, put these activities. Okay. I want you to do mark A for important, B for medium, and C for low. Okay. And just take a picture of this step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5. Will you do that? All of you? Take a picture and just give me a thumbs up. Then I'll go to the next slide. It's an activity. Done? Have you taken a picture? Okay. Now, these are 10 items, tasks. I want you to read every item and then say which is mark A for important one, and mark B for medium, and mark C for low. And then identify which are those you want to delegate. Okay? And identify tasks which have to be escalated. I'll give you 5 minutes. Individual exercise, all of you have to do this. Great. Okay. Let us see. Responding to an urgent ticket raised by client A, B, or C.
A.
A, ma'am.
A. It's urgent and important.
Anybody who disagrees on A? None. Anybody who disagrees? At least tell me no. Please. Huh?
No, ma'am.
And I mean, it can't be B and C, you know. It's a ticket, urgent ticket raised by a client. Okay, I'll give it to you. Preparing daily, weekly report. A, B, C.
B.
Okay. Now I will give something depending on how important. Weekly report, regular report. So it could be
C.
B, it could be
C.
C, right?
C.
Because typically I wanted to say it can be a C. Huh?
Yeah.
Following up
thought
on
sorry,
yeah,
for
Tisha.
preparing daily.
Titi?
Yeah, for
Ah.
preparing daily or weekly report, I thought of delegating this to someone.
Yeah. I also
Huh.
thought the same.
Excellent. I was wanting to see, will you all go with my flow or will you all correct me? Huh? Absolutely. Then you will get little more time. Titi, you need to get another chocolate. Ask Ankita to give you a chocolate. Okay?
Oh, ma'am, thank you.
All right. Great. Great. And all of you who said delegate, who says, will somebody disagree with it?
No.
No.
Because report is something you can explain to the team member. Maybe 1 or 2 mistakes he'll say, but if you go by the delegation, why, what, when, how, and checkpoints and how to do it, how many, the spreadsheet should look how and all that, then he can make it. Okay. Following up
Sorry, Nirmala, one question. This
on
is
missing
Siddharth.
inputs from another internal team. Following up on missing inputs from another internal team.
Hi,
One
Ms.
second.
Garg, can you
Will
hear
it
me?
be, 1 second, will it be ABC? Will it be delegate? Or will it be escalation?
B.
Or will it be scheduling? Huh?
Ma'am, it depends.
Pardon?
Whether it depends whether the missing inputs are affecting my team or my team, or it is just affecting
very
his or her
important.
team.
Yes. This is
Another
again a
team.
challenge. I took it from your own activities. Absolutely. If that input is going to be a very, very critical component, important, then obviously it will become A or it will become B. No? Okay. Reviewing a team member's work before
Ms.
sending
Garg, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Sid, I can.
Okay.
Yeah, you wanted.
Sorry, I want to circle back to point number 2. Preparing
You are
daily
talking
or
about
week.
2 or 3, Sid?
2. I wanted to talk about 2, but we started
Preparing
on
daily
3.
or weekly report. Yeah, please.
Preparing daily or weekly report.
Mm.
So, in addition to the matrix of A, B, or C, important, medium, low, is the delegate schedule escalation matrix also you can pick only one? Because to me, preparing a daily, weekly report, if I'm delegating it to someone, if we think back to where we started with that first problem that we discussed, it's not just delegate, it should also be scheduled, at least for the first few times. Because if I'm delegating to a junior, I want to know, I want to verify that they have understood the responsibility, they have understood what is being asked, and if necessary, be there for the first few rounds to kind of supervise or correct them and then let them have ownership of it.
You are absolutely on the spot. The entire delegation process is not that you just delegate and forget about it. The entire process is, especially if it's, you have to show him everything, the criteria, how is it going to be. Then do checkpoints, interim checks as to has he done it, course corrections, and verify before you are sending it. So that, but verification, especially to the client or even to an internal team, is very important by the manager, because you are not delegating accountability. Accountability is with you, because your boss is not going to, you can't say, I'm so sorry, my team member did this. Can you say that? Huh?
No, no,
Uh,
buck stops with us.
Accountability is with you. You are only delegating the work, the process, right? And you are absolutely right, Sid, that we need to make course corrections. You need to verify, because before it goes, it is you who is sending the report, right? Yeah, very important. And so, but yes, having said that, this is a work which can be delegated. And delegated does not mean that you delegate and base do. No, you have to verify it as well. No?
Yep. On
Thank
point 3,
Yeah.
sorry, thank you. On point 3, where did we, what consensus did we arrive on? So it's either an A or B, but where did we land on for delegate, schedule, or escalate? Did we get a consensus on
No,
that?
no. I said A, it can be A, B, C, and either following up on a missing input from another internal team, okay?
Right.
Following up, depending on the criticality, okay, you could delegate it and then ensure that he has done it, because sometimes what happens is say, hey, this report has not come, you can delegate it to your team member and say, ensure that it is coming, but you will again take into consideration what kind of input has come. So depending on criticality, do the delegation but verify again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
But it is not for escalation.
Agreed.
This is not a point of escalation, because there is no conflict and there is no escalation. All right. Okay. Reviewing a team member's work before sending to client.
A.
Absolutely. Like what Sid's mentioned, when you're sending something to the client is going to ask you, not the team member. You can't say, oh, I'm so sorry, my team member sent it. Right?
But ma'am, I think this can be B as well.
Pardon?
Like plan and this can be
No,
B as well.
Delegation of
Not delegation.
what
Delegation
report
was
can be done.
B, right?
You are saying what? It can be what?
I'm saying plan and schedule. I'm saying plan and schedule. For 4,
Planning,
reviewing a team
scheduling,
member's
yes.
work before sending it to
Yeah,
client,
you
because
can
we can
get that
obviously,
plan.
this is not
Yes.
urgent. We can obviously sit down, plan accordingly, have a go through the work, and then we can send it to the client. This is not urgent, like something like escalation or production issue.
Absolutely. I agree. It is not A. It doesn't come under A. But yes, you have that. It could be important, but it is not urgent. You can send it at a later time. Yeah, I agree with that.
But ma'am, one thing,
Yeah,
when there is a deadline and I need to submit urgently, then it comes to A, right?
Yeah, but I told you, criticality, depending on if there is a deadline and you have to send it, then obviously it will become A. No? The first thing in the morning, you have to send that report because the client is waiting for it. Got it? Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Attending a planned internal meeting. First of all, let us look at it. Planned internal meeting. A, B, C.
B.
It can be a B because meeting,
B.
you can always get what has happened in the meeting. No?
Yes.
Or I don't know, sometimes what happens as a head HR, CHRO, I have to send my deputy sometimes to see, okay, I will say, okay, fine, so that I understand what has happened in the meeting. Okay. Now, correcting an error spotted in yesterday's
Sorry,
submission. Yeah.
could I put a dissenting opinion?
Yes,
Planned
tell me.
planned internal meeting.
Ah.
I believe it should be a C.
Planned
Not
internal meeting.
I
Planned
agree
in.
with Sid on
These
this.
are those meetings which happen every week.
on
There's
a
one
regular
meeting, or
basis.
every
The way,
month there is a regular basis.
yeah, the way we work, the way our company works, we are all working
Yeah.
on the same floor. If there is anything that is urgent, if anything that is all hands on deck, we know to collapse together into a group and work on it immediately.
Right.
Planned internal meetings, we all have a culture of which is reflected in the fact, sorry, that we are saying that we have too many meetings. If it's a planned internal meeting, more often than not, it is like a checkpoint on the progress of a project. Everyone's expectation is that everyone is attending the meeting, knowing what their responsibilities and deliverables were, and just being there to present an update and maybe get help from others in the meeting if they are stuck somewhere. It's
True.
scheduled.
Absolutely true. You are there. So
It's
sometimes in
scheduled.
exigencies, when,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's scheduled, definitely. Don't forget it. Don't
It's a
miss it.
scheduled meeting. So it's a
Yeah.
checklist. So everybody say, hey, it was planned. So obviously, that person knew it right from before that
Yeah.
there is a planned meeting. So you need to attend it. Absolutely. And, but I won't say it's on the ABC list, it will be A. But yes, it's a meeting which you need to attend because it's planned. And probably you really can't delegate more often. But yes, exceptionally, sometimes if you are caught up in some other activity, then probably you can delegate it to saying that, hey, I'm going to send my deputy because, I'm caught up in this kind of an activity. Right?
Yeah, I'm willing to put it at a B minus if we follow the alphabet grades, like a B minus at best.
But let us have only A, B, C, B minus. Okay, great. Okay. Correcting an error spotted in yesterday's submission.
It's A for me.
This is A, ma'am. This is
should
A.
be an A.
That should be an A.
Anybody disagrees?
But ma'am, I don't know that whether the error is high severe or low severe or medium severe.
Sure.
So based on
So
that,
we
I
can
have
give
to.
that submission. Okay.
Yeah.
We will. So depending
Yeah.
on your own situation.
Right.
Sending a status update to the client.
A for me as well, this one.
A, is it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes what happens, you also have a SLA saying that on a weekly basis, I'm going to send a status update. I don't know if you all have that kind of a thing. An
It
SLA.
is like
I think it's
depending
A.
on the schedule. Like if it is a weekly, then actually it is not important. But if it is a daily, then I think maybe
Oh yeah, then it
will be
becomes
very
important because the first thing the client wants to know what is the status update, right?
Yeah, means it depends on the status, like Kumar
Can it
said.
be delegated? Of
Not
course,
in
with
my case.
verification. Huh?
It all depends.
Yes,
It
it
all
depends
depends on
on
Depends,
the
ma'am. It
depends on
depends.
the client
Exactly.
and the project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
what type of status report it is. So it depends on a lot
Okay.
of things.
It can
If
be
it's a
delegated,
standard
but
state,
Yeah.
sorry, Preetham, go ahead, then I'll speak after
yeah,
you.
it can be delegated, but it has to be reviewed by any senior.
Can be delegated, but
Has to be reviewed by any senior.
Yeah.
absolutely verification is important. Anything going to the client, it goes under your name, so you are responsible.
No,
Okay.
that's to confirm.
Ms. Garg, if I could add to that,
Huh.
our client base, by nature of the field they work in, they tend to focus on their problems being world-endingly catastrophic, when in reality, it's not. So when we are talking about status updates, if it's a regular status update on a project, like say a client like bringing a client on board, or deploying a feature, or providing support for something that has gone wrong, but it's a problem we've seen many times. I feel like that should be a B and a delegate. Because if I, the manager, am having to provide status updates on what should be normal maintenance of business, I'm not being effective. I should be delegating that to my team members, giving them the opportunity to take ownership and, better yet, make their own improvements. Because I am hiring people who are smarter than me. The point is that they identify gaps that I have missed and fix them with my help if needed, but they do that. So
So
if
you
it's a
raised 2
medium
points.
priority, it's a B, delegate. If it's really critical, like as in the client is threatening to pull their account and leadership is on my head, okay, then it becomes A and escalate, or A and schedule if it's not really that important, but I'm trying to keep the client happy.
Absolutely. You touched upon few points. Depending on the situation, like it is catastrophic or it's a regular thing or onboarding, etc. Depending on the situation, as you said, yes, your team actually. But what happens is sometimes if you even these, it's a part of a maintenance. But if you do not verify a couple of times to ensure that whatever work is going from your desk on your name, it is as per the standards. So verification is important, because couple of times when you verify and you say these are the checkpoints you need to look at, so while you're doing verification, you know exactly this team member, where can he actually make those mistakes, 1 or 2 checkpoints, right? Then gradually you get more time, and he becomes really good, because as a leader you have to also grow him, grow his skills, grow his capabilities. So more of accountability on him, as you rightly stated. Yes, I will go with your view, saying that it is a B, it can be delegated to the team member. Anybody who disagrees with this kind of an argument? Yep. Hey guys, I think more the opinions, more the discussion, you learn more. Anybody? At least give me a thumbs up saying that yes, we all agree.
I think I covered A through C and all of delegate, schedule, and escalate in my response. So
Yep,
I put all of
absolutely.
the above. So I'm
Absolutely,
sorry, everyone
absolutely.
else.
No. Wonderful. Now, because you brought in even the criticality, the situation, the context. Okay. Coaching a low performing team member. Where is the team? Where's my team? Yeah,
Delegate.
coaching a low performing team member.
C, I
Guys,
think B and
huh?
delegate.
B,
This
coaching
can
a
be
low
B. This
It
should be
can
performing
B
be
or
team member.
B
Huh?
or C.
this
B
can
and
be B or
delegate.
C. This can be B or C.
If there is another high, so you are saying delegate. To whom are you going to delegate this coaching? Somebody said, if I heard
Yeah,
it right,
if we
they
have
said,
other
huh?
team members as well who are performing decently well, then instead of putting the manager's time on that particular member, we can delegate it to someone else as well, right?
Yes. I will actually take that point, because if you have a high performing team member who is very good at a job, and you want another team member to be coached on that, a low performing team member, then I would say, hey, this high team performer can actually coach him.
Yeah, and this would be
Okay?
not a direct coach. This will be like working on a task together
On the
so that
job, on the
he
job,
directly
on
learns
the
it.
job
Yeah, yeah.
coaching, on the job coaching, so that knowledge transfer, skill transfer can take place. Okay. Yep. Documentation and updating SOPs, standard operating procedures. Should I do it myself? Should I delegate it?
I
Uh,
think
It should be
Yeah.
delegated and reviewed.
scheduled.
Yeah.
So typically what happens when we do policies, HR policies, we delegate it, we delegate it to a team member, get it done. Then I will say, okay, fine, bring the policy. Let us actually review it. So reviewing is something which you have to do, but you can delegate it, the
Yes,
entire
ma'am.
documentation part, updating, right?
Yes,
Ma'am, I have a
Reviewing
question
process
here.
you have to do. Pardon, Titi? Yeah.
I have a question here, ma'am. Does
Titi,
verification,
Titi, you have to be a little louder, dear. Yeah.
am I audible now?
Now you are audible. I don't know
Okay.
what you did. Suddenly you are audible.
No, I think I was away from the mic, so
Okay. Huh.
yeah. So, I wanted to understand if this verification is a part of work delegation or it should be done separately.
The word verification. Who does verification? You, right?
Yeah.
So
Like
obviously,
if
when you
I'm,
are verifying, you have to bring that person also. When you are verifying, and when verification is something which you do, whether there could be one or two checkpoints, etc. You want to verify everything. That knack of finding out. There are people who will say, "My boss knows exactly. He'll catch where the mistake is." Huh?
yeah.
Okay. Reviewing is looking at the entire thing. Reviewing.
Oh, yeah. I may have used the wrong word. I think I was meaning reviewing. So,
Yeah.
is like if I've delegated the work to someone,
Uh,
is it a part of the process, the delegation process, that the work should always be reviewed, or the review process can be, skipped at times?
No, I think it's important to review, but it depends. More the review and more the confidence you have on a team member, 5 minutes, 2 minutes is good enough because you know exactly where is that guy going to make mistake.
Yeah.
Like for
So,
example, payroll, it will go away. I'm just saying an HR, sharing an HR example, but the payroll manager will know exactly this payroll executive where he can go wrong, right?
yeah. Okay. So, review always needs to be like a part of the delegation
Yeah,
process.
it's better because what
Right.
happens, you are not actually delegating, does not mean that you are delegating all the work, process, everything. You are delegating the work, but not the responsibility or accountability. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Providing clarification to your team on a process query.
See and schedule.
Pardon? See that. And
It could be scheduled because it's not necessary. It depends on the need.
Should be seen.
Yeah.
Should be seen.
See and schedule.
okay, anybody disagrees? Let's see, there are some good responses here. I did something. Okay. Okay. Urgent ticket from client. Will you say this is urgent and important?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Error correction.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody disagree?
Error correction again, it has to affect them immediately. It has to be something which is hampering their daily workflow. Then it's
Yeah.
urgent
So
and important.
will you agree to urgent and important block quadrant?
Yeah, more or less.
Then team member process query if it is blocking that continuity of work. Then sometimes, status update to client, which could be urgent and important, right? So I'm just listing out things so that you know exactly what kind of activities fall under urgent and important, or what kind of tasks and activities fall under important but not urgent. Look at this. Coaching a low performer. It's important because you have to manage his performance. You have to get the best out of that performer. But it is not urgent. Will you agree?
Yes.
It's not something you have to do it right away. You can take time, you can do it. Documentation. Again, it's important. SOPs are important, but they don't fall under urgent.
Yes.
Weekly reports. If it is not today's report, it is important, but not urgent. Somebody said planned internal meeting. It's important And on a day when it is planned, you have to go. So you can't categorize that as urgent and important. Okay? Yeah. So what are the key takeaways from the discussion or from the activity we have had? Will you agree not all work is equally important, right? You
Yes.
can prioritize it. Tracking prevents overload. Escalation structure protects your time. Prioritization is very important. Not everything is urgent. It categorizes, also saves time. Because if you categorize, then you can save time. Delegation also becomes easier, right? And it will also reduce these emergencies. Because let me tell you, if you're spending a lot of time, urgent and important, you are burning yourself. If most of the time of 8 hours of work, if you're doing 6 hours of urgent, important, you are burning yourself, okay? Because it needs a lot of energy here. So you really have to understand, hey, all my activities urgent and important because these are all pressing problems, deadlines, etc., etc. So how to reduce? By planning, scheduling, and doing a lot of work here so that it doesn't become firefighting for you here. So for all of you, the takeaway is on a daily basis, start this. Look at your daily activities, keep a journal because you will be doing the way you have been doing by practice because that's a habit. But if you want to change that and get into prioritization based on urgent and importance, start logging in activities and see what do you do typically. Awareness first, and then start allocating, start acting. That's something which I want a commitment from all of you so that you are able to get more time from yourself to spend a lot more time in important but may not seem to be urgent. Let me tell you a lot of things like your development, etc., etc. They are important and you feel, hey, they are not urgent. So you spend less time on that. Okay. So I want to collect one or two takeaways from this time management and prioritization. Yes, guys. So what are you planning to do from tomorrow? Yeah. Anybody?
Implement the Eisenhower matrix to manage time efficiently.
Okay. How will you do that? By understanding what is urgent,
Urgent,
what is important,
important,
right? Spending more time and deleting all that which is not urgent and not
not
important.
important.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, amongst that, there's another thing which you can do. Escalation tiers. I don't know if you all have in your work escalation tiers. Because what happens, at least to my knowledge, or even you all can share your own experience, a lot of times everything comes to gets escalated. So you have to have some SLAs saying that, hey, this is what you are going to handle at tier 1. Then it will come to me. Then the team lead, then the manager. Do you all have this escalation tier?
Yes.
Yeah.
But, huh? Because otherwise everything comes to you and then you will be flooded with work and you won't have time to do what is important. Then everything becomes urgent and important. Then where is the time for you? You are firefighting then. So strictly you must have an SLA based escalation tier. I don't know whether you all have that. If you don't have, you must try to sit and work on it along with your HR. Okay. What is that your member will handle? What is that your TL will handle? Then it comes to your manager. Okay. Then probably few things across functional escalation. That will really help you because otherwise everything will come directly to you and then all your time, gets into resolving those conflicts. Okay. All right. Another theme I have put up, collecting all your challenges. What is that theme? Let me wake up people. What is the theme or what is the category?
Communication.
Communication
Communication and alignment. I've only given it a name. I've collected some of the challenges from whatever challenges I received, and I put that. Difficulty convincing clients during disagreements. Anybody resonating with this kind of a challenge? Yeah?
Definitely.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Difficulty convincing clients during disagreements. And then because he's a client, how do you cross team alignment issues? Contradictory internal responses, confusion to client then. Somebody will say something and somebody will say something and the client has a confusion. Not escalating delays early. Common? Resonating? Huh? Incomplete or unclear requirement inputs. Saying yes without capacity. Employees not following process. So I've just listed some of these challenges under communication and alignment. Now, how do we deal with this? You give me some ideas. How do we deal with this? Any ideas? How do you normally deal with them? Tell me. Because these are all issues you are facing. How do you deal with them? Titi?
This is actually something that I struggle with.
Pardon?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually something that I struggle with.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how have you been actually resolving them, mitigating them?
Mostly, when, the clients are pushing back, I have been telling them that, we may need to take this back and discuss this internally with our, internal team members or maybe the development team to ensure or double check if their requests can be, accepted and worked upon. And then if I get maybe a no from the development team or the internal teams, then I reach out to them and let them know that unfortunately this is something that cannot be accepted at
And
this
they're
time,
happy
but
clients when you say that? No?
they are not.
They are not. Okay. Anybody?
Yes,
Sid,
ma'am.
you want to share something?
Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I have
Yeah.
faced few situations recently. Basically, the first one, that difficulty convincing
This is who?
client,
Just
sort
name.
of, ma'am. Sort of moment,
Let
ma'am.
me see where is Saurav. 1 second. Saurav. Saurav, at least you can show yourself. No, I can't see you
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, now I can see you.
yes, ma'am. I have faced this the first one recently, like a month back, with a client where they were in disagreeing with a few things. Our work, like what exactly we do. So we, as a team member, we stayed calm, and whatever data we had, we presented to the client, and the client understood that, yeah, these are the things going on in Coziva. So then the issue went down, and the next thing is like is contradicting the internal responses that we have with our customer success managers. So we went in sync with each other and made our points that what are the points we want to discuss with the clients, and then again resynced with client and discuss the points. So these are the two things
Okay.
that I faced recently.
Okay. So it's a common thing and it is happening, and
Yep.
you have come out with some kind of a solutions.
Solution, yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Let us hear Sid. Sid, you have something to share?
This is something that I struggle with because is there a particular point you would like me to speak to?
Yeah. So how did you respond? You said you are struggling with. So how did you respond to any one of the situations which has happened? Any one of the challenges which you confronted with?
So All right, let's just go down the list one by one. So difficulty convincing clients during disagreements. This
No,
is
you can take just one of them, whatever one key challenge which you confronted, and how did you go about? Yeah.
incomplete and unclear requirement inputs has just been like, this is the
Mm-hmm.
requirements you put in. We have questions on this, and this item. We need a response, otherwise we cannot move forward. Balls in your court.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what was the response from the client?
Well, the client response went one of two ways because this is a situation that happens repeatedly. Either they provide the requirements and we move forward, or they take it back for internal discussion and it comes back with a new requirement. So the clock has been reset.
Okay. Okay. So here is it. Maybe we could use certain tools, a kind of a framework where it helps us to communicate better and there is better alignment. As a result, the results might be better. Okay. The outcomes might be better. So there is a small tool which we can use called brief. BRIEF. B for background, R for reason, I for information, E for expectation, and F for follow up. Okay. And this model, it actually creates instant clarity. Let's see how. I want you all to do this, and then, two internal teams give contradictory responses. Okay. Client gets confused. I had to validate everything and then give a single explanation. Now, I don't want you to read anything. All right? Huh? I want you all to do a small group work. You can, let me see how many people I can make. Okay. Or you give me what do you think you as a person will do if you were to do it again or rewrite it again? Two internal teams have given contradictory responses. Client gets confused. So I had to validate everything and give a single explanation. If you are the person, what will you do? How will you go about? You as a team manager, you are the one who has to validate and give a single explanation. How will you go about? Just 2-3 lines. What will you do?
Sync with both the teams and discuss all the points and like basically revalidate all the points and aligned with them and have a correct information on what were like why were there different opinions of both the teams. So that
Okay, so you are saying I will actually go talk to the teams, right?
yeah. Just
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Anyone? Titi or Saurabh has been participating. Let me see the people who are not, are very quiet.
I think we will take the ownership and address the issue that happened instead of putting the blame on the teams.
You will take the ownership and you will
The final explanation that is mentioned in this statement.
okay.
So that will anyway be
Okay.
needing. So the manager could take the ownership on the team's mistake. So yeah.
I would first check with the teams what are the contradictory responses.
Okay.
Why did it happen? And I mean, there would be some scenario for this reason, right? So let's check with the teams. Let's come up with the common response. Then we can give it to the client.
Okay. Okay. Good. So therefore, all right. So you all of you have certain kind of mitigation processes. Now, using this model of brief, okay, what's the background of this case that you received? Contradictory responses for two internal teams. Right? That's the background, no? Very clear, B? What's the background? You have received contradictory responses from two internal teams. Now, reason, we rechecked with both the teams. So what did you do? You have checked with the teams. Somebody said, yes, we will check for accuracy, everything. So you will check with the teams. Then you will find out what was the root cause, the correct root cause is, and you will mention it. If you are actually rephrasing and sending a brief to the client, then under E, here is what we will be doing going forward, action plan to the client. And then you will say you will receive an update by so and so. What am I trying to say? This has happened. Two internal teams have, they have given you a contradictory response and client got confused. You have to validate. If you have to give a brief note to the client, you can follow this BRIEF method, wherein you will write, say, this is what is explanation, and we have rechecked the teams. The correct root cause is so and so, and this is what we will be doing going forward, and you will receive this update by so and so date. So by using this brief, what will happen? You will actually ensure that everything is being taken care of. Okay? Does it resonate with you all when you are to write? Rather than just saying, oh, we are sorry, it has happened, but you will actually find out what is the root cause. You will explain to the client. You will also tell them, hey, we are going to give you an updated right version by so-and-so time, and you will give the action plan. Because typically what happens, these are common. Sometimes it happens. But then how do you actually make amends to the client? So it's very, very important to accept and also then say, hey, these were some of the reasons, and this is what we are going to do, and in so much of time. Then the client always, it doesn't really get escalated to that extent that, they get very offended. Okay. But has it happened in your organization? Such cases? Shavan, Rohit, has it happened?
Not faced such an issue, at least not this
Pardon?
specific case.
Huh?
I
It was
have
not
not,
such a,
I have not
okay,
faced exactly
not
this
such
issue.
a big issue. Okay. All right. When we are talking about communication and alignment, very, very important in terms of communication, that especially in healthcare, who needs to know what information, when, these are some things we really need to keep into consideration when we are sending out a communication, and ensure that there is alignment. Because sometimes what happens, you can't send everybody a CC or something. You have to actually send emails only to people who really need, who are in the loop. So again, communication becomes very, very important, especially because a lot of information is there is security, there is confidentiality, etc. Right? And I'm sure you all have these concerns in your own organization when you're sending info. Okay. So guys, any questions on communication and alignment?
No.
None?
No, ma'am. No.
Shavan says yes. We are all good.
No.
Huh? No. But whenever you are sending beat, communication has to be very precise, clear, to the point. Do not make it very complex so that it is easily understood, because it is the responsibility of the person who is the sender to ensure that the receiver receives the message just as the sender sends it. Because what happens is it is not the receiver's responsibility, it is the sender's responsibility to ensure that the receiver has understood just as the way I want him to understand. So, what's very, very important then in communication? One small check I want to check with you, because everybody said we are very clear. So, what's important here in communication? That verification, that feedback, that confirmation is very, very important, so that the other person has understood just as the way you want him to understand. Because a lot of times, what happens, there are subjectivities, there are perceptual gaps, there are other kinds of noises which actually interfere with the communication. Oh, the blame game. Oh, I thought actually you meant this way, or I thought this only had to be sent. So in order to reduce those gaps, noises, blame games, ensure that the sender is very, very clear with the communication. Let me also tell you, in organizations, if the communication is clear, a lot of conflicts will be reduced. Efficiency increases, effectiveness increases. Okay. All right. There are a lot of personal biases, perceptual gaps which we have from a sender. So ensure that I am understood just as the way I want to be understood. Okay. In fact, yesterday when I was actually asking all of you for your expectations, some of you said we want to manage our team, manage their performance, right?
Yeah.
Now, I have also listed certain kind of issues or challenges which I have collected from all of you and put them under managing performance and difficult behaviors. Okay. And these are actually from your own list. Procrastinating employees means generally people telling, okay, we'll do. Technically strong but behaviorally poor team members. Team members saying sorry without improvement. Resistance from previous seniors. Low motivation after appraisals. Over dependence on manager. Okay. These were some of the challenges and which have been listed by some of you. All right. So, under the module managing performance, first of all, let us understand what is performance, right? Are my team members very, very clear about what to perform, how to perform? So, what is that you do to bring clarity in your team member, what to perform and how to perform? What is that you do as of now? Please, I want all of you to take part. And this is very, very critical because as a frontline manager, you are responsible for managing the performance of your team. Why is it very important and critical? Let me also tell you the impact it has, because it's all about cost. There is something called ECR, employee cost to revenue. The CEO is only going to look at, hey, what is my wage cost and what is this cost to revenue? How much of revenue am I getting? So when you have team members and when we are paying as a payroll process every month on month a paycheck of guaranteed cash, not the incentive, but the guaranteed, because once the person is on board, you have to pay him salary, which is guaranteed whether he performs or whether he underperforms, unless and until you actually then say, okay, fine, you are a bad performer, we have to just, exit you out. Okay. But there is a wage cost. So you as a frontline leader, you are responsible to ensure that there is an optimum performance which is linked to the revenue part. So what is the practice you all do? How do you bring clarity in your team members as to what to perform, how to perform? What do you do? How do you go about with that? Because I, as Mrs. Garg, as a team member, I should know, I should have clarity of what I should perform and how should I perform. Because obviously, only when I know how it is performed, it is also measured, and then I will then look into all the quality parameters. So, what is the practice you all have, or what is that you as a leader? What do you do right now? Everybody is mum, but guys, you are doing this on a daily basis.
Isn't it obvious like what is expected from an employee? Because whenever you have been assigned a task, it has to be completed with the utmost quality. The
Okay.
issues can
So
happen, but
one,
that is expected, right,
uh,
from anyone.
So you are saying one, it is obvious and it is expected that you have to perform.
Yes.
Okay, perform. I'm just leaving it at that. You have to perform. Let us have some other views. Can I have? How do you manage the performance of your people? How do you bring clarity? What is that you do on the ground? I actually want to understand what is that you are doing right
We
now.
also at times have one-on-one with our juniors, maybe like
Okay.
6 months, but it takes a long time to have, because although we encourage them to approach us if there's any need, but generally it's like 6 months or a year one-on-one where we can discuss with them, like
Okay.
what are their
Okay.
expectations and what we expect, we can tell them as well.
Okay. So you all have a 1 month almost like in a matter of 6 months. All right. So
It depends on team as well. So like someone
okay.
could have
Okay.
it in a couple of months as well.
All right. Okay. Any other response?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
setting the right target in terms of productivity and accuracy, and then evaluating that whether they are meeting or not.
So you mentioned that you set target. Okay. All that. When do you do? At what time of the year you do? Or do
Actually,
you do it
in my project, it's a daily.
at the beginning of the project?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you actually clarify what is the project about, then you set the target, or I can say goal, and then how it should be, how is it going to be measured, what will be the metrics, the quality parameters, or the SLAs, right? You
Yes,
will
ma'am.
explain everything and verify and check whether he has
Yes.
understood the. Okay. All right. And then while he is doing, you will manage his performance. Okay. Anybody else?
Yes, ma'am. One more thing I can add is providing like clear deadlines and like when following up with the team member, like the status, looking on the status is like what is the progress.
So mid-course managing mid-course correction
Corrections, yeah.
checks. Huh?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. So it's very often my experience has been that uh, the team as a frontline leader, um, I'm responsible for the performance, but am I actually helping them, bringing clarity, setting goals as to what they have to do, how they have to do, how will they be measured? Very often, let me tell you, the team members have no clarity in terms of how should they be doing it. Very few frontline leaders bring that clarity, because if I really want my team member to perform well, I should be able to explain to him what that good performance means. How should it be performed? What are those parameters? So there's a very small framework we use. In fact, I don't know, I'm sure even you must be using. This framework is called SMART goal setting. Have you heard of this SMART, SMART goal setting? Any of you? Yeah? At least give me yes or no. Hey guys, say no
No.
or yes, huh?
No.
No,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
No.
No. See, why I emphasize on certain frameworks, certain models, because when you use a framework or a model, then you won't miss out certain dimension. Okay? Because what happens if I'm just doing it without a process? It's a kind of a gamble. I'll be able to achieve that outcome, or I may not be able to achieve that outcome. But when you have a process in place, when you have a framework in place, then you are actually going through all the motions and ensuring the possibility of that business goal or the achievement to be higher. Okay. So it is the responsibility of the frontline leader, even if it is not there within the system, to ensure that there is a smart goal setting. Now, what does it simply mean? Smart. When I'm setting goals, or when I'm setting what he has to do, a project, S means what?
Specific.
Specific. What exactly I want my team member to achieve, right? Say, for example, I'm just giving you an example. Reduce customer complaints. Is it specific? Please tell me yes, no,
Yes.
nothing. Huh?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
S stands for specific. Now M stands for measurable. I'm giving a goal, but if it is not measured, there's a famous saying, what gets measured gets done. What does not get measured does not get done. What does it mean? I'll give you a very basic, very interesting HR example, because all of you will be able to relate it. All of you hire. Say, for example, I will tell a recruiter, you need to close 20 requisitions, okay, 20 medical coders in 2 months' time within this budget. Okay, that person will close because he will get some referral incentive, whatever, recruitment incentive. But I have not given measures in terms of quality measures. So therefore, will that recruiter look at quality measures? Won't, because I have not given any measurables, right? If I say they have to have these kind of skill sets and these kind of competencies, some measure if I put, then the recruiter will ensure that that is taken into consideration. Okay. So measure is very, very important. Why? Because even to evaluate the progress or the success, or even later on for compensation, etc., the gaps. How will I, if there is no measure? So measures are very important. So how will I measure customer complaints? Tell me. If I want to put a measure, how will I put a measure?
Less escalations.
Less escalations. Somebody said less complaints, but by
Yeah.
less, it doesn't put a measure, no?
The reduction in the current numbers that we generally
Yeah,
face in a month
reduction
or
in
so.
the current
Yeah.
by how much?
We need to
You getting
specify
me?
a number.
Then what will happen? If I specify a number, then I will be tuned to that. Hey, I have to do this much only, this many mistakes only. Like if there is a customer satisfaction index, please increase the customer satisfaction index by 2 points vis-a-vis the last year's whatever it was, or vis-a-vis the last quarter. So fix a number. Like for example, here, decrease complaints from 15 month to under 18 means earlier it was 15. Now for month on month, it has to be only 8. Is there a measure?
Yes.
No? Achievable. A is for achievable. Is the goal realistic? I can give, a very high ambitious goal. But if it is not achievable, what's the point? But it should not be such that, I don't even need to stretch. So it should be, because only when it is a stretched goal, means it should be a goal which the person has to, put a little more pressure and do it. Otherwise, if it is easily, like for example, what did Kennedy say? Hey, I have to ensure that the moon has to be there. Have a lofty goal which is doable. Okay, then the person will be able to do at least, if not 100%, maybe 90%. But if the goal is not even ambitious, then the person, there is no chance of even stretching. I can easily do it. Okay, so that's called realistic goal. And when you are doing that achievable, you are also going to discuss timelines, resources, etc. Got it? Now, R, relevant. Okay, does it align with the team? And does it align with the organizational objectives? You need to even look at that. And then time. Somebody said no deadlines. Time. Time is very, very important. For example, I'll give you a very interesting. So, Indigo. Indigo says, Indigo says that to the customer value proposition is that I am going to give you low cost airline tickets. Which is your popular airline where you travel? I'm sure for everybody it is Indigo.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do you travel in Indigo? Tell me.
Because of the timeliness, because
So somebody said timeliness. Okay, then what
cost
else?
effective,
Cheap
obviously.
as well.
They have lot of
Cost.
options.
Okay, so a lot of options also, cheap also, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's cost, I mean, low cost fare
Yeah.
because as per the other airline, at least, and also well connected, right?
Yes.
Huh? And timeliness, somebody said, punctual.
Yes.
Hmm? So what am I offering to the customer? Customer value proposition, just like you offer to your own client. Indigo is offering cost effective, huh? Timeliness, very punctual. Okay, well connected. I do get easily flights if I want to go to Coimbatore, if I want to go to Timbuktu, anywhere it is well connected, right? And that's why I take the flight. No, does that happen all by itself?
No, they must have set some goals that following
Huh?
this method maybe.
So it needs how many? I'm sure all of you, it needs how many cross-functional teams? Have you
Right.
noticed that? A, if I want to ensure that I give the customer a low cost ticket, I need to work on certain internal processes. I need to work on internal processes. A, ensuring that the airplane has to fly more and be on the tarmac for a lesser time. That means turnaround time has to be very less. Because if my airline is all the time sitting on the tarmac, that means it's not making money. It will make money only it keeps going around. It flies. That funda is very clear. The more
Yes.
number of flights, I will get more money because obviously more passengers. Because now I have to give at a low cost. Now to make that happen, what do? I have to ensure that the arrival and departures are what?
On time.
Quick. No? Have you noticed when you go to take a flight, arrival, even before the flight has come, the Indigo crew, what do? They do everything. They will queue you up. They will do everything. They're almost in a queue, ready to ensure that you get seated, right? And when you are departing, what happens to the departure flights? While you are even about to be on the tarmac, everything is ready. The crew cleans up. The crew says, "Okay, now get ready." You are like so. The onboarding team, the departure team, and as soon as the flight lands, the maintenance people ensure that the maintenance is taking place. They are ensuring that everything is in place, the fuel, the air, everything. So it is an effort of cross-functional teams, the maintenance team, the onboarding team, the departure team, so much of teamwork. So don't you think they will all be given smart goals so that they can work as a team and ensure that the turnaround time of the flight is taken care of? Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's why it's very important to have smart goals, so that you are very, very clear about what to perform, how to perform. And when you are performing, managing, somebody said, no, you have to also manage the performance by doing course corrections, or have I given a very big goal? So there may be reduction in the goal. Okay. I want you all to do a quick exercise now. First of all, you write your own goal. Okay. And say how does it measure? Is it realistic, relevant, and time bound? One or two goals that I want you to fill up your own goal sheet, and then one for your team member. Okay. Is it doable? Please write your own present goal. Okay. Any specific goal, then write the measure, write achievable, how it is, relevant, and time bound. After you write your own goal, then I want you to write your team goal. Okay. Yeah, I can. Can you share? Anybody? Whoever has shown me a thumbs up, Can you share the screen and show me what you have written under the SMART goal?
Summarizing, because the first thing was last week I was providing clear instruction to my team, like a team of like 5 members. So I did this. So I tagged this one.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Can you make it? Is it possible to make it a little bigger, or let me
Yeah,
see
ma'am.
if I can?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Great. Now, can others see? Okay. What is your goal?
So yeah, my goal is like providing whatever clear instructions. Like
I want to
firstly,
get better.
at giving clear instructions, like so that my team understand what is the task related to and basically the time of the task to complete it.
1 second. 1 second. Specific. I want to get better at giving clear instructions so my team understands tasks the first time. This is something, your way of doing things, your way of giving instructions. This is something to do with your, ability to convey communication. But definitely, this is not a goal.
Okay.
This is not a goal. Goal should be related to something you do, task. Got it?
Yes.
When I said the goals, the SMART way, goal should be something related to business. What is that? As in your role, what is that you need to do right now?
Okay.
So this is not a goal. Okay.
Okay.
Measurable. I will know it is working when mistakes or rework reduce and my team asks. So this is totally, you want to change your behavior, you want to communicate, you want to be a better coach, better trainer. Because when I say smart goals are definitely related to something you have to achieve, a result, an outcome. Okay. So
Okay.
here, do you see a goal? Do you see an outcome? No.
No.
Got it? Okay. Anybody else? Can you show me? So I want you to rewrite your goal, SMART goal, Somik.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Okay, somebody else is also showing something.
Is my screen visible?
Akash. Akash, yeah. I can see something. 1 second. Is this the one? Reduction in bugs. Huh?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. You want to make it a little bigger?
I don't think I'll get an option on that.
Okay.
No.
That's okay. I can, at least others can read.
Yeah. Okay. So should I start with individual or team goal?
It should be your team goal first. I
Okay,
mean your
then.
goal and then the team goal. Because it
Okay.
cascades down, right?
Okay. So
From the
for
top to below. Yeah.
right. So for individual goal, if I'm talking about the scalability performance. So in that case, the target is to get like say as we are healthcare clients, team. So we have to cater to multiple lives. So if we are currently catering to 50 million lives, our target is to cater to say more than that.
Okay.
So that's what I'm talking about in case of scalability.
No. So S is specific. So I'm okay with reduction in bugs or escalation. Okay.
Okay.
That is your goal. Reduction in bugs or escalation. You can remove 50%. That comes under the measure. By how much? 50% from what it is now. In the sense, how will you measure? Your measure will be, your escalation should be 50% of the present.
Right.
Your present escalations, so if they are 100, the measure will be 50% of that. Got it?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So the 50% will move down. And then the achievable is like team should proactively pick the issues and work on resolution. If they need any help,
This
they
is
should.
methodology. Team should proactive. A is achievable. So, and aligned.
Right.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Then are they realistic? I mean, 50%, is it too much or is it too less?
Yes,
Do
so
you
it
think
is
it's a
realistic, yeah.
realistic goal? Hmm? And time
Realistic and
bound.
relevant as well for the company, because
Okay.
less escalations
So
will help.
time bound,
Yeah.
you are saying 6 months. Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. Now let us go to the other one.
The other one was the scalability performance that I was initially talking about.
What is the scalability performance? Because
Like,
somewhere it is a little ambiguous. It is not very specific.
okay. Okay, then I'll need to maybe change it and
You're
think about
getting me
something
now?
else.
You're getting
Yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
It is not specific.
Okay.
Like measure could be execution time reduced by 10% or 20% or 30% of what
That's
it is taking.
yeah,
That can
that's
be a
in the
measure. But
measure
that
part, yeah.
specific is not correct.
Okay. Okay.
Optimized code and you implemented a scalable solution. No, next 6 months. Okay, timelines you kept as 6. Okay. So so it all starts from I'll give you one
Specific goal.
asset test. How can you say yeah? Is somebody going to share? I'll just share one. Okay, if you can stop
I'll
sharing.
stop sharing, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, how can you say it is smart? So there's a check. Okay, so you have to check whether, see if you see here, what exactly, when you said scalable performance, does it respond to what exactly you want to achieve?
I mean, yes, because as I said, if we are currently catering to 10 million lives and I want to cater to 20 million, so that's the target that I'm setting. By scalability, that is what I meant.
Okay, then you can say your goal is, you can set it there, you can say this is what I want to achieve, the target goal.
Yeah,
Okay.
the wordings
Okay.
should be changed,
Ah.
yes.
Then how will you measure? Obviously, from the previous, how much, that will be your measure, right? And then, of course, it is realistic, or it is you have all the resources in terms of time, resources, timelines, then relevant and time bound. Okay, so when you start off, that has to be very, very. I mean, specific has to be mentioned. Otherwise, then you will get lost. Okay, can I see one more?
Yes,
Anybody wants
ma'am.
to share? Huh?
Yes, ma'am. I'll share.
I'll stop sharing.
Yeah. Give me a second. Yeah, can you see my screen?
I'm trying to. Let me see how. Little bigger. Smart
Yeah.
goals.
So for specific, what do I want to accomplish? I want to improve my team's productivity.
No, let
That
me
is,
pause. Let me stop there for you.
yeah.
What do I want to accomplish? Improve team productivity. Improve team productivity. Is it specific? Just think about it. Is it very, it is a little general. I want to increase team productivity, but it is not very, very specific, because how will you measure team productivity? Then is it achievable? So if you want to say improve team productivity, okay, put a target at least there. No?
Okay. Okay. So then is the measurable
Goal. That is why that goal has to be mentioned very specifically. What is that you really want to achieve? And how will it be measured?
Yeah, it will be measured
How
by
will I know
improving.
it is successful?
So the on-time
Improve from.
delivery, improve the on-time delivery from 70% to 90%. That is my measurable
This is
component
a
here.
very valid thing. You have put a measure there that the on-time delivery from 70 to 90%. Okay.
In the achievable portion, I have developed a plan like by introducing development timeline planning and weekly progress tracking. Through these
Now, can I
processes, I
just,
want.
yeah,
Yeah, sure.
good,
Yeah, sure.
good. You want to reduce your on-time delivery from improve from
Increase.
70%
Yeah.
to on-time delivery 70 to 90%. So to make this happen, you have to ensure that there are certain processes, there are certain
Yeah.
things to be done, right? So is it what resource support do I need by introducing development timelines planning and weekly progress tracking. Okay, to some extent, I'll give you because you have actually ensured that these are the processes which I need to be working on to ensure that your on-time delivery is improved, right?
Yeah. In
Okay.
the relevant
Then
portion, how does it link to my team or business outcomes? Obviously, timely delivery, I feel, is a key performance metric. So
okay,
obviously, if
fine.
my team is able to deliver on time, obviously the performance automatically will reflect that they're working in a good
Okay.
performance. They're providing a good
And
performance. And
achievable
timeline, I want to
3 months.
achieve within 3 months. So that is my
Okay.
timeline.
All right. Great. I can give it to you. All right. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. So I hope the rest of the team also has understood how to write smart goals, not only for themselves, but also for their team members. Can you give me a thumbs up, please? Yeah. Kumar Banerjee is saying, yes, ma'am. Now I can get a lot of thumbs ups. Okay. Now I want to introduce another concept called line of sight. Have you heard of it? Line of sight?
Yeah.
What is line of sight? Yeah, somebody said line of sight. I think it is. Yeah. Can you see this? Can you see my thing? Yeah. What is line of sight when we talk about line of sight?
Straight to the target.
So, what is line of sight is what my team member does. The work he does, it should be connected, it should be aligned with what the business wants. So, can I see what I do aligned with the bigger goal? Let me give you a very, very nice, interesting story. Okay. Maybe, you'll be able to connect very well. So, there was this architect and he was going around and he was seeing one mason. He was actually, you know, um, building something, layering the bricks, etc. And he asked, what are you doing? He said, I'm making a great palace. Okay. Then he went around and he saw another mason working and he asked him, what are you doing? I said, I'm making a building. And then another mason, same job, I'm making a wall. So, what is it? The line of sight. He is only seeing a wall being made. So, the quality of work will depend on the line of sight in the sense that when I know I'm making a wall, but it is actually going to be a palace, you can think of the kind of quality, the vision he will have for that. But think about the other guy who's just making a wall. So, what I'm trying to say is that every organization tries to create this line of sight. That means to the last mile, what I do, how is it connected to the big picture? Because if I'm only making a small pin in an assembly line, then I'll say, oh, I'm making only a small pin. But if I know that this pin is actually going to be a part of a big SUV car, then, my vision for it will be so different. The quality of work, everything will be very different. My feel for it will be different. So it's very, very important to establish line of sight. For your team member also, when you say, hey, I have to manage performance, rather than just saying, just make this report or just do this work, if you establish saying that your work is very important. Why? Because this is going to be a part of that large project for that client, emphasizing the importance. How is work is going to be, a part of that big project? How is it going to be aligned? Look at it. The way he is going to perform, the quality of what he is going to perform will be a huge difference. Will it make a difference or no? When you work on a project and you actually get the big picture in the context of what you're doing, how will you feel? Hey, I'm actually doing this, which is a part of this large project. You tell me, how will you feel? The sense of achieving, the sense of feeling great, and your quality of work will far, far exceed in terms of what you get. Hey, guys, are you able to, connect when I said line of sight? Huh?
Yes.
How
Yes,
is
sir.
your work aligned to the big picture? That's why today in organizations, we always talk about big picture. This is the vision. This is the mission of this, and how your work is related to that. Otherwise, I'll feel so insignificant. I'll come, I'll do my small piece of job and go back. Doesn't make any sense. But when I know that it's going to have such a huge impact on that big picture, then my quality of work will be hugely different. So it's very, very important for all of you when you are setting goals for your people, for your team members. Ensure that you are able to connect what they do with the larger picture, which is called the business outcomes or the organizational goals. That's why you should know always, hey, what is this all about? In what are we doing? Healthcare, what kind of a solution? How is my work going to be really related to that? How is it going to contribute to it? Make sense, guys? Yeah?
Yes.
Ma'am.
In fact, I want to know when the performance of your team member drops. What is that you typically do?
I think I personally communicate with them on one-on-one basis. Like,
Okay.
why is this happening? Did you find it difficult because of the requirement, or was it too challenging for you, or something like that? And get to know what is the actual cause.
Yeah. So I know it's difficult because there's a lot of work pressure, but let me tell you, communicate, communicate, communicate. So normally, if you want to really improve the performance of your team members, we cannot assume anything that he is not capable, etc. We have to find out what are the reasons. Does he have clarity? What is he supposed to be doing? Clarity brings, like I saw some of you writing goals. Clarity is very, very important. How is the goal? What is the goal? How should it be performed? Okay. Then after that, what kind of skills or resources are needed? Then what kind of a feedback are you giving? And how are you motivating? So all these things make a lot of impact for your team members. But just evaluating, judging, and saying, hey, you are no good, you're not able to do it. And all the time, then what happens? Firefighting happens. So therefore, it's very, very important that when somebody underperforms, you have to actually understand what are some of the reasons that he's underperforming. Is it because of lack of clarity, lack of skills, or what is the real reason? Because if you go, you can use a fish. Yesterday we did that fishbone analysis. You can also use a fishbone analysis framework to understand what are some of the reasons for your team members to underperform. This is a very common cause, and I'm sure you should really work at it. So today there are so many models. Again, you'll say, hey, madam is giving us another model, but this is a very interesting model. So when people underperform, you can use a very interesting model called grow model. Has anybody come across this grow model? Which is also called a what? Coaching model. Has anybody come across that model? Have you heard about it?
No, ma'am.
No.
No.
Okay. So typically when we tell, it is actually what? Giving answers. Teaching is explaining, but coaching is helping the team member to find their own solutions. Okay. So let us just understand first the model and then we will do an exercise on it. So what is this model all about? Grow model. When we talk about a grow model, G stands for goal. So what do you want to achieve? Goal. All right. R stands for reality, means what is happening now? What is the situation like? Okay. And O is for options. And W is for way forward. Means what will you do? This is a very a researched model which is used mostly for performance coaching. Okay. Say, for example, we'll use. So, what goal do you want to achieve? G is what goal do you want to achieve? Say, for example, you as Shavan, I want to improve my accuracy. Or say, for example, there was one goal, no? On-time delivery. We'll take on-time delivery. Okay? I want to improve my on-time delivery. So, I will explore what is happening now. Why are we not able to achieve what we want in on-time delivery? What is the real situation? Then the employee says, I often rush under pressure, whatever the reasons are. Then O is for options. Okay, what are the various options to improve? I will look at internal business processes, everything. I'll look at all the options. And then the employee says, okay, maybe I need to check, I need to do this, I need to do that. Then says, okay, fine. Then which one will you commit? Then he will say, okay, I'm going to commit to this. And then the team member will do it. So what is the plus point in this? In this process of using a goal model and ensuring that your team member improves performance. Tell me, what is the positive thing in this? Anybody have they noticed something interesting in this?
Ma'am, you are actually helping them find out the solution rather than providing the solution on your own.
Who is this person? Yeah. Who is this
Sheila
person?
Ditto.
Huh?
Sheila Ditto.
Oh, you have already become a coach. Huh? Yes. Yes. You have not told him do this. When you say you do this, what will happen? I will say, it is not mine. My boss told me to do this. I have no ownership. I have no account. I'll say, because I didn't own it up, right? But here in this model, what are you doing? You are helping him to explore all the things. And then you are saying, okay, what are the best options? And then you are saying, okay, which option are you going to commit yourself? So therefore, what will happen? His ownership and accountability and his initiative will be higher because it is coming from him and not from you. You're not telling him to do. He himself is coming out with best options. Now, why is it also very important? Because organizations have realized it is the best suggestions come from the person who is actually interfacing with the customer, who is on the ground, not from the top, because you are your team members are the teeth, the front-ending people who are interfacing, who are coming across, who are actually, seeing what's happening on the ground and can give you best suggestions. That's why if you notice, organizations who are very, very keen to ensure, retain, and make new customers, they have this great CRMs. They're always interacting, collecting feedback through their frontline people so that they're able to then translate them into action plans. Are you seeing sense? So how important your team members are, very, very critical for you. Right? So can we again rehearse what is this GROW model? What is G standing for, guys? It is
Go.
what you want to achieve, the goal, right?
Right.
Is this very clear?
Yeah.
Any confusion in this? Huh?
Yeah.
So
No.
when your team member, right? Then what is reality means? You are actually looking at all what is in the context, what is happening now, the situation. You are looking at the situation. Okay. Then after looking at everything, then O is for options. Okay. What is the best option you can do? Because circle of control again. You things which you can only do, which beyond your control you can't do. So in options, there might be some things which you can't. We have to escalate. So what is within your control? The circle of control. Then so way forward. So what is that you will commit to yourself? What is that you will do in the best options given within your control? Guys, try this model. Go back and try it. Let me tell you, start in a small way and you will find a great success. Guys, now, how do we know that we have learned a little and we have to do a practice? Okay. So we're going to practice the GROW model. Here are three scenarios. Scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3. 1. Your team member is consistently missing deadlines due to poor planning. So, you will be the leader and the other member will be the team member, okay? And we will also have a observer. Likewise, scenario 2, an employee wants to take on new projects but lacks confidence. Scenario 3, and team members' performance has dropped after a change in the process, okay? After a change. Now, what I want you to do, using the grow model, I want you to coach your team member, say for example, how not to miss deadlines, or how to take on new projects, or how to improve his performance. These are three scenarios. So one will be a leader, a team leader, one will be a team member. The team leader will coach the team member and using the grow model. Then after doing it for 1 or 2 minutes, you will switch roles. The team member will become the leader and the other person will become team member. And the same issue, you will use a grow model. Observer will actually then take down all the notes and he is the one who is going to then come and read out how and what and how did you all go about the entire process. All right. How did the conversation take place? Okay. All ready? So Vilma is going to break into 4 groups. So please write down whichever scenario you want to.
No, we have given them specifically. Group 1 will do scenario 1. Group
Okay,
2 will
you
do
do that.
scenario 2. Group 3 will do scenario 3. Group 4 will also do scenario 3.
Done. Okay,
Okay.
4 groups.
So I'm opening
And
the
time we will give because they have to exchange roles again, right?
15.
Yeah, 15 minutes should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, yeah, we can have this group. This is Aniket.
Yeah,
Yes.
group 1. We were in group 1, ma'am.
Okay, group 1.
Missing
All right.
deadlines. Yeah.
Please start.
Sure. So our scenario was a team member is consistently missing deadline due to poor planning. So I was the observer there. So this was the discussion that happened between the leader and the employee. So just going in the accordingly with the grow framework. So what the goal that was communicated to the leader was that in the next 60 days, the employee wants to achieve on time or before time delivery. So this was the goal part. The leader wanted to know that what are the current issues that the employee is facing, which is hindering the employee in meeting the target. So the employee identified the root cause, which was misallocation of time and resource. So the employee was unable to figure out how much time it would take to complete the task. And the employee often thought that the time is sufficient, where it was actually not. So there was a change in focus on to do a particular task, which led to the missing of the deadline. So accordingly, the leader wanted options. What are the possible options that would help the employee in meeting the target? So the employee suggested that he needs, or there should be a clear communication with smaller tasks and clear deadline, intermediate deadlines, which will ultimately lead to the final one, and a weekly follow-up on to review blocks that the employee has faced in the past week, so that the same thing does not happen in the week ahead. So the leader wanted to know, so what the employee is going to do in the next week, coming week. The employee said that he'll first divide the task into smaller chunks for that specific week only, try to meet all the deadlines by that week, and at the end of the week he'll come back with whatever problems or blocks he has faced and do a retrospective analysis, so that the same thing does not happen in the coming week.
Okay. Overall, I think you've done a good job. Like, for example, breaking off the milestones. I mean, keeping milestones, then tracking them, and then wherever there are blockages, then coming back and reviewing and checking. I think in a way. But see, it's all written. So typically, what happens, just to add, so when you're doing this, the leader, he has to ask. Have the right tone and ask the right questions, and also do a lot of active listening, in the sense, because his role is here not to tell, not to give solutions, to explore, to ensure that the employee comes out with the various options. Because by doing that, what happens, he will then uh, commit himself to whatever he has actually um, set for, in the sense that he will take the way forward in the manner in which he can do it within himself, which is within his circle of control. But when you tell him to do something, he may not, or he may not be, he may be able to do it. At the outset, I think I must say this is really good. You have done a good job. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, firstly, the leader asked that he saw that in the last quarter the performance of the employee was dropped. So he asked why the performance has been dropped, and the employee answered uh, that he's uncertain about his job roles after the functional changes in the organization which have recently occurred, and because he thinks that his performance is not being judged correctly. So then the leader asked, do he know that what caused the certain drop in his performance? So the employee said he's not really sure, but maybe like he thinks that he is doing his job very well, and this is the first time he's coming to know that his performance is not up to the mark. So, and then the leader asked, what do you think, how you can improve? So the employee said maybe by giving more time or by proactive suggestions. And so he suggested that it will be helpful if he come to know early about his performance drop so that he can work on it, because this is the first time he came to know about this. And before that, no one mentioned. And in the last, the leader asked that, how do you think how we can work together to improve your performance? So the employee asked that we should do more frequent meetings to identify and address the performance issues if there are any, and then work on it to resolve.
Interesting. Just see, I saw in the last quarter your performance has dropped. So, yeah, it's a nice way of asking the leader, saying, I see that your performance has dropped. And why do you think the performance, what are some, can we understand why it has dropped? I like the employee, typical employee who will say, about this uncertainty about the job role, no clarity after the functional change in the organization, and because my performance is also not being judged correctly. Right? Okay. So this is one of the reasons here. Now, do you know what caused the certain drop in your performance? Okay. He has already said uncertainty about his job role after functional change. All right. Keep that. See, not really sure. See, even in what is grow, that means, first of all, you are seeing what is that, what is the goal, and you want to know the reality. So, in reality, what is the situation? A, no clarity. That is what the situation is. No clarity because there is a sudden, I mean, there was a functional change and he has no clarity about the job role. Okay. And so he feels that his performance has also not been judged correctly. As per my understanding, I have done my job well. And I was not aware that my performance is not up to the mark. Okay. Now, as a leader, here suddenly, see, there is a disconnect between this and this. He's suddenly saying, what do you think? How do you think we can improve? Have you seen? You have not explored, first of all, what was the situation? Why was the performance, why did the performance drop? Okay. And that functional change. You have not explored this part very well. This in the second stage. the reality stage. So many times, what happens, unless and until I understand the reality, I will not be able to explore the right options and also the way forward. So, first of all, context. Reality is nothing but the situation, the context. This is a very interesting. I'm seeing the dialogue. Suddenly, okay, how can I improve? Maybe by giving more time or proactive suggestions. Are you connecting the dots?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? Huh? See, then it's like every bit is on its own. Again, so moving forward, how do you think we can work together to improve your performance? You have not explored the options. Then so obviously, how can you close in on a way forward? So we should do more frequent. Okay. So it's at one-on-one meetings to address and discuss our performance issues and identify the reasons and solve it. I will give it to you for the last one. But there needs to be, what I'm trying to say is, it is not just one line or two lines. When you're using this grow model, you have to go deeper, why, ask a why. There is something called asking, why principle. When you keep asking why, you are not just looking at the surface, you are going deeper and deeper beneath. So you should explore more. Got it? Here, what we have done, it is like a question and answer. I'll ask a question, you'll answer. I'll ask a question, no. The model is not to be used like a question and answer method. Got it? Okay? Maybe because of the less time, etc., you have used it. But the point I'm trying to make is, don't sound like I'm asking you a question and you're giving me an answer. When we are using this model, it is more from the coaching approach. That means you want to help him. So you're asking more and more questions, probing further. Actually, what happened? Why? You're wanting to probe further. Where is it coming from? Is it because of some lack of resources, lack of technology, lack of skills? So you are probing further. Then what kind of options do we have left? Then what is that? Then when he commits, then he is 100% committed to what he wants to do, what he will do. Okay?
Okay.
So please don't use it as a question and answer method. When you're
Actually,
coaching
the
your employee.
discussion went really detailed and well, but I try to
Okay,
write
okay.
it
No,
in a
Got it.
questions and models.
Got
So
it.
that is
the
Got it.
thing
No
is,
worries.
actually, I was the employee and I was
Mm.
trying to create a scenario where the employee is not certain about like what is happening with him.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
he thinks he's
Mm.
performing well,
Mm.
but the manager thinks he's not. So that
Yes.
is what we were trying
Can
to
I
create.
pause you? This is a very
Yeah.
interesting thing you said.
Hmm.
Employee thinks he's doing well, but the manager thinks he's not doing well. That's what you said, right? Huh?
Yes. Yes.
So this is for everybody. Locally, this is very common. I, as an employee, will think I'm doing very well, but as a manager, you will think he's not up to the mark, he's still not doing it. So, when you are exploring using a coaching model, you have to bring a lot of data. Why? What will data do? Give evidence. Are you with me, everybody?
Yes.
Without data, how can you convince and how can you state something? Because the other person will say, no, sir, I am doing very well. No. Even when
Right.
you do a performance appraisal, if you recall, you have to keep a journal regarding the performance, what projects you did, how did it. Because otherwise, just going by and say, no, you have not done well. Then the employee will say, but sir, where is the evidence? See, last month only I did this much target, this much. So when you say something, you should back it up with evidence, data. Okay? Because data cannot be refuted. Got it? So with the data, you can then say corrections. Then you can say, hey, this is where you have, not been able to do well. This is how many times you dipped the performance. Then when you say so many times you dipped in performance because of this, then you will be able to give a course correction also. Okay? Got it? Done. Akash saying, yes, ma'am. All right, guys. All of you have done well. You have learned. So whenever we want to change people's behavior, improve their performance, I told you something. What is that evidence? When you are giving a feedback, how do you give a feedback? Typically, what are some of the things which you need to take into consideration? Whether it is feedback about performance or any other thing. How do you give feedback? Yeah. Typically, how do you give feedback, guys? I'm sure you give feedback to your team members, etc. What do you take into consideration? Hmm? Say somebody is coming late. What do you say? Okay, Tithi is coming late to office every day. So Akash is the boss. Akash, what will you tell her? You want to improve her performance. You want her to come at least, on time. So how
I'll,
will you tell her? Huh?
I'll ask her to basically try to come on time. And if there is
Hmm.
any challenges that is
Hmm.
causing this, then maybe discuss on that.
So obviously you will tell her, Tithi, you see, so first of all, you have to give some data, no? I've been
Yeah,
seeing that you've been coming late for the last 10 days. Huh? Your attendance register or your login time tells me that you're coming late for the last 10 days. No? Well, tell me, first of all, you want to find out, okay, you're coming late. Is there something we can do? What is the problem? So then you'll talk about the behavior and then how it is impacting. Sometimes what happens, one person comes late, it impacts the productivity of other team members also, or it impacts the client. Client is, so how it impacts, and then try to tell her. So whenever you give a feedback, what should it be? It should not be judgmental, evaluative. Oh, you're not doing well. Your performance is dipping. Then what will say, for example, Akash is a team member and Saudas is a leader. You say, Akash, your performance is dropping. What will Akash say? Akash, what will you say?
why? What went wrong?
What went wrong? There is a performance. So what will you do? You'll become defensive. No?
Right.
My antenna will go up and say, no, rejection. Eh? What is this? Maybe sometime I must have slipped. But if Saunders will say, hey, I've been seeing, you see, look at this data. It's going up and down and it's dipping most of the time. Can we do something about it? How is it? Why? And give him a feedback in terms of concrete, evidence based, and not judge. Because when you're giving feedback, it is not to criticize or judging. You want to improve him, right? So you always have to ensure that it is more developmental, more, involving him. Because whenever you evaluate a person and you want him to improve, the person will never, if it is judgmental. So there is a small, interesting model. If you want to change the people's behaviors, your team members, you can use this SBI. What is S? We talked a lot. S is situation. Always describe the situation. Be specific. Okay? To whomsoever you want to give feedback or talk about it. Situation is nothing but context. Context is important. Okay? Then behavior. What is that you observed or what is it? Behavior. Then talk about the impact. Right? Impact on you, impact on others, impact on results, team, projects. So when you use this evidence-based SBI model, situation, behavior, and impact is very important. Impact could be not only on revenue, that is financial results. It could be on psychological front. It could be on culture. Impact could be anything. So you have to understand, that impact is also one core unit when you're talking about feedback. So I would recommend all of you, to your team members, there will be challenges in terms of what? Time management, prioritization, conflicts, etc. But whenever you are giving feedback, whenever you are wanting to improve the behaviors of your team members, you use this model called SBI. Okay?
I have
Any?
a question.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Should we also not try to understand if there are any challenges they are facing, why they are, which may be the reason why they're coming late, or uh, there could be any challenging behavior that we are seeing from the employee. So should we try to understand if there are any problems or challenges that they are facing, due to which this may be the outcome of that?
See, you are absolutely right. So, for example, I'll give you a very simple thing. So, I, as a boss, I'll tell you, Kiti, what I'm seeing is that you're coming late. For the last 10 days, I can see that, it's quite late. So, situation, understand the context. Tell me, is there anything to, it is not a one-way traffic, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're checking with her the situation, entire thing. What is it like? What is happening? Everything all right with you? Any particular reason? Are you
Mm-hmm.
getting me?
Yeah.
So it's very important. I'm not here like a student, only doing the question answer method. So anything, a feedback model or a grow model, you use it as a framework, but it is not just asking question and answer question. No, it is trying to create a dialogue.
Mm.
And I also told you, when you're using the framework, you are not missing out on any dimension. And you are also sticking to a process so that everything, all the elements are incorporated. Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Does
you.
that help you?
Yeah.
Kriti?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
So
Thank you.
when I say context, you are understanding both from that person. Even when we are talking about options, very important, no? When we are setting in a grow model reality, what is it? Again, you're checking with the person. So it's a dialogue both the ways. All right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Great, guys. So I just showed this grow model. Okay. There's a lot of literature and we can send it to you all and you can read about it. Okay. Common thing. I want you all to let me know some of the conflicts you are facing in your teams. Typical conflicts. Don't have to be very, very specific. It can be personal, something where you don't want to keep it as confidential. But what are some of the typical conflicts you face in your teams? Yeah.
Accountability,
Mm,
like
okay.
the
Accountability, can I say that sometimes you get into that blame games and then, no, you are accountable when
no,
something
no,
goes
no,
wrong.
not that
Huh?
kind. Maybe you can say
Then,
responsibility slash account. Like if a task has been assigned, the follow up or the completion of the task is to be handled by the employee who the task has been assigned. That way. So they basically, at times what happens, a particular employee will, the task had been assigned to him, and he sits on the task for a week or maybe more or maybe less, and then comes to the manager or the lead like, okay, this has not been, I am facing this issue. But that happens like a week later. Or if he has communicated once to the senior, like, this is, I'm
okay.
not able to do it, I need your help. And then after 1 week, he's again trying to reach because the senior was busy, so he could not connect with
Okay.
him earlier. So that kind of accountability, like work
Okay, some
related.
miscommunication, etc., etc. Okay, all right. Okay, they could also. Saurav has raised his hand. Yes, Saurav, tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Another thing, like over dependency on the supervisor or the manager, or who is like
Mm-hmm.
overlooking on the, like, whenever a decision is taken, so everyone is depending on the manager, like specifically smaller decisions that can be
Mm-hmm.
easily taken by the team members. So like depending on the manager too much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See, so how does that become a conflict, Saurav? Just wanted to know
Yeah,
for you. Huh?
yeah. Basically, what happens? Managers will be tired up like in too much of projects, right? So,
Okay.
in consistently of like taking a big decisions which might impact, that is okay when a manager is like, oh, like looking into that whether that of the decision. But for smaller decision, when a decision is taken, so the team members can already decide within themselves that, yeah, we
Got
can
it.
proceed with it.
Got it.
Yeah.
So So, if I have understood you rightly, saying that my workload keeps increasing as it is, I have my own workload, but because of this over dependency, even for small things, and work is not proceeding because you will need all the time approval, go
Yeah,
ahead,
yeah, correct,
etc.,
correct,
etc.
correct,
It's pending. The work is pending.
correct.
So as a result, my work gets increased. Okay.
Correct, correct.
So yes, there is a conflict of workload here, in the sense, I mean, if I were to give a little solution here, that means your team needs to get clarity on what are they supposed to do, how are they supposed to do, and your hand holding in terms of coaching as to, because over dependency means they are not really very sure of themselves what they are doing. Getting me?
Correct.
So a little more coaching, getting one-on-one communication with them, clarity, understanding their gaps, and ensuring that they know everything, so that you are delegating and the dependence on you is reduced. So
Correct,
you
ma'am.
definitely need to work on that. Over dependency means, yeah, somewhere there is a people. Okay. So I'm just trying to give you, because you said over dependency and your workload. Okay. All right.
Correct.
There were
Yep.
three more people who wanted to share something. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
want
could see
to.
some hands. Huh?
Yes, Surya on this side. So I have a particular situation for my team, I would say. As I mentioned yesterday, that we work with shared resources, and here I actually supervise some projects. So sometimes we have to delegate works to our seniors and the peers as well. So there is like I faced some resistance maybe, or like this kind of conflicts. So what, how should we approach? Like juniors is a different situation, but when we are dealing with the seniors or maybe peers who are capable of doing the work, but it is just something, you know, like
I
not
can
very
understand.
specific. Yeah. So how to handle
So,
the situation?
so the conflict is arising here because of the shared resource where you have to share them, right? And there's some kind of, maybe at that point of time, you also need resources, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Huh? Okay,
yes.
we'll deal with this aspect as well. There was one more person, there were three hands. Anybody else who wants to share something with regard to conflict, common conflict which are happening, typical conflicts? Anybody? Okay. So typically what happens when there is a conflict, what happens within us? You as a leader, what happens?
Delaying of the task,
Huh.
not
See,
finishing on time,
you feel a little dysfunctional, right?
dysfunction. Yeah, yep,
Huh?
yes.
Even your body feels, hey, but let me tell you, it's an opportunity actually. Yeah? And in fact, by dealing with the conflicts, you can take better decisions. Huh? And the same conflicts can be handled very constructively. And I do agree, there will be so many conflicts, but how do we actually translate all of them and work towards them is the challenge today. Okay, let us understand how do we actually deal with conflicts. There is a very interesting small model you can use, which is simply called ADDR. ADDR. So when you have this conflict, say for example, over dependency, I'm taking your own example. Okay, I'm acknowledging, means I'm recognizing. And when you have a conflict, there are also certain negative emotions which pour out. You get stressed and there is pressure created. So I know whoever has become, because of that over dependency of your team members, there's a conflict, there's an increase of workload. So you are acknowledging it. It's very, very important that many a times what happens, we don't acknowledge the conflict and we charge into action. We will also have negative emotions at that time, but acknowledge. Then discuss, put it on paper, look at it, what is happening, why is it happening, who are all the other stakeholders it's happening. Listen to everything. Why all that? Let's say simple, this workload dependency. Then I can talk to members. Why is he dependent so much? Then decide That means you need to collaborate. Who are my stakeholders from where I am getting conflict? For example, somebody said, I have to share resources. So there is a conflict, right? And there is somebody who's using that resources. So why don't you collaborate and find out and see what is that best thing you can do? Because in organizations, obviously there will be a pool sometimes where you have to share resources. So what is the best solution there? What can we agree on? Right? Then review the entire thing. By doing it, as I said again, thinking with a model inside, you are able to sometimes channelize your negative emotions. Think about it. I said something, you know, when something happens, it is human nature to conflict means you will have a lot of negative emotions. But when you start using something, a model you put there and start acknowledging and start discussing, and then you start deciding which is the best way and reviewing, you will definitely see light at the end of the tunnel. Your negative behavior will become positive and you will have a very positive action plan. Okay. I'm not wanting you all to do any activity now. Simple. We will only do that. See, when, say, for example, when two members are blaming each other for a missing deadline, there's a conflict. Is there a conflict? Two members are blaming each other for a missing
Yes, ma'am.
deadline.
Yes.
Now, let me see how can we adopt ADDR on the top of it. So I will use Sid. Sid, are you there?
I am.
Huh? You are there?
Yes.
Is your
Yes.
throat okay, Sid?
Not quite, but
Not quite. But can we use
but I
you
can
as
do.
one
Yes.
member just to
Sure.
invoke some interest and
Sure.
so
Yeah.
okay. I want to see one more person who's a little more articulative. Can you recommend somebody? I forgot. There are people, 1, 2, 3 people who is very hard. Can you recommend or can Aniket?
Yes.
Aniket, are you enthusiastic enough to be other member?
Yeah, sure.
You both, Sid and Aniket, are members of a project and you have missed a deadline, so you are blaming each other. If we were to deal with this conflict using this ADDR, how will you do it? I'll give you a minute to think about it, both of you. Yeah. And the others will all observe you. You're going to play that. You are two members who are blaming each other. You are at conflict because you have missed the deadline.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Sid, let me start.
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So we have missed a deadline, and we are going to follow this workflow to resolve it. So first, let's instead of blaming each other, let's first acknowledge that we have missed the deadline, and let's try to break it down into smaller problems to see what actually happened.
Okay. Did you want to start with some like example, so like made up or whatever comes to mind, and we can work off of that rather than just like going off of the
Think of
ATDR
a
stuff.
real situation in your own workplace where I'm sure there were so many deadlines, and think that you're working for one client and where you missed a deadline. You'll feel more realistic in that, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So let's think of something like imputation thing that we did, and I did not get the requirement very clear. I was expecting that, and I did not communicate it to you, which I should have done so that you could have worked on clearing the exact requirements. So I think these are some of the problems that has happened, which led to the the missing of the deadline. Instead of blaming each other, let's decide like what we can do.
you already performed all of the conflict resolution. You already acknowledged, it's like, hey, I recognize, we both had our issues. The conflict's resolved. So,
So because we have less time, I also want to keep giving you all some inputs. So whenever you acknowledge, let me also tell you, whenever something happens, as a human being, we are not laptops or we are not technical instruments. We have certain emotions. So when there's a conflict, so emotions are also very important. So you will say, hey, Sid, I know how. So say, for example, you'll say, hey, I know how it feels bad. It's that we have missed the deadline, and the client is also must be having tough time. So acknowledge with emotions are also important. You agree? When there's a conflict,
yeah.
acknowledging our emotions are important, because I'll tell you, a lot of times it is not the focus on task alone. uh, it is the focus on the emotions which will bring better solutions many of the times, and especially negotiation, conflict. So emotion part has to be taken care of. Because if you are irated, what do you do when a customer is very, very angry? Will you resolve the problem, or first you will make him cool, calm, composed? Huh? Tell me. I'm just trying to equate that. When an irritated customer, I expected this more. Will say, huh? You will try to compose his emotions, right? Make
Right.
him cool, composed. Only then he will be in a situation. Then you will come to the second part of solving the issue. No? Got it? So emotions
Yeah.
are very important. Okay? Then discuss. Yeah. Then both of you should discuss what happened, deadlines, what were the real reasons, right? Okay, yeah, communication was not sent, clarity, or he may be telling something else, because first it is all blame game. Oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do this. So we have to hear all that blame game, because only after I have went out everything, then I will come to the real thing. Oh, this has happened. So we missed the deadline because, uh, communication was not there, clarity was not there, requirement was not understood. Okay, so these are the things which have happened. Now you're coming to situation, context, reality. Then you're deciding, okay, now tell me now, what do you think we should do best? So you are now coming to some possible solutions. Okay, once you do this, okay, let us do this, and then you will follow it up with a positive behavior. Are you with me, guys? Akash and Sid?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
with you.
Huh? No?
We're with you.
We are with you.
Okay. I'm going to give one more. One. I want to know. Ti- Siti. Okay. And Shavan.
Okay.
Shavan Mondal.
Okay.
All right. Now,
Yeah.
very interesting. I'll give you. You both are team members. You are arguing over shift allocation. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, Titi and Shavan. So, you have a conflict because of a shift allocation. Tell me, how will you go about? Let's see.
Okay.
Okay. Titi, I want the morning shift.
Um, I
Yeah.
understand Shavan, but for me, taking the night shift like every day kind of affects my health also. So if you could consider, taking the night shifts for a few days of the week, and we could share probably like you have the morning shift for 3 days, and I have them for the 2 days of the week, if that works.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It will work.
You already come to decide and review. No discussion, no acknowledging. Huh? Huh? You didn't discuss, she said this, and you decided, and you promptly said, okay, fine. Huh? Okay, great. So, yeah. So actually, it needs a lot more, you have to be with the person, stay with their emotions, and only then what happens, people then tend to stop playing the blame game, and then their negative behaviors will become positive. Okay. And similarly, when you're talking about a change comes with a lot of resistance, right? If you want to change of policy, change of technology, change of process. So, as a leader, team leader, it's very, very important whenever there is a change to recognize that change, because obviously people will be in a shock. That's the first thing. Then they'll be resistant. So, how will you actually ensure that the resistant converts into some kind of a commitment? So, you'll have to tell him, say, for example, if there's a change of technology suddenly, and you want your team member to follow that change. So initially, your team member obviously will be resistant, but you will have to explore and say what are the advantages, how it's going to reduce his workload, how is it going to bring more efficiency for him, and how his outcome and results are going to be very good. Accuracy will become better. So when you actually talk about it, then what happens? The resistance will convert into, yes, commitment, and they will then slowly and slowly. But if a change, it needs continuous reinforcement, that also has to be done. So actually, as I told you, frontline leaders are the key people for the organization. Why do you think you are the key people for your organization? You impact a lot for your organization. Why do you think so? Tell me. How? So actually, as a final, takeaway, I was wanting to tell you all that as frontline leaders, you have to bring in clarity for your team members. So what is that you will do to bring clarity for your team members? We discussed today for them to work better and to manage everything, manage performance, etc. I gave you a small tool. How will you bring clarity?
Communicate.
By using the SMART goals. Very important. Okay. Unless you set your goals the smart way by being specific, measurable, realistic, relatable, and within the time frame, your team will not be able to perform. Because unless and until I'm very clear about the standards of how to perform, what to perform, when to perform, and within what time frames, this clarity should be given. Okay. Now, when we talk about structure, prioritization, structure is how do you align their goals with the big picture? Because how do you enable them to see a purpose? Because every individual doesn't come just to, okay, you may say money motivates a lot, but then money motivates for some time, unless and until they see a sense of purpose, sense of belonging, they will not be able to do their best. They won't be able to bring their best in performing their best. Okay. Prioritization. When I said prioritization, what is the takeaway you have? What did we talk about when we talked about prioritization?
Like
How does it help you to be effective?
pointing what is urgent and what is important, what is not.
Absolutely. Time management. How do you prioritize? How do you make more time for you to work in the important quadrant? Right? Not so urgent, but important quadrant. Because if you are all the time working on urgent and important, that means you are firefighting, you are burning out. So why are you burning out? Because you are not maybe delegating enough. Or you are maybe spending too much of time on urgent and not urgent, but not important. So you have to look at it and prioritize. So delegation is very, very important. So if you have to delegate, obviously you have to coach, train, develop your team members, because you cannot delegate unless and until your team members are in readiness to work. And how will you do that? By understanding them, bringing clarity, developing them, coaching them, giving them feedback. When you give feedback, it's very, very important for you to give with some data. So you have to use situation or a context, then talk about the behavior, right? And talk about the impact. Because you will have team members whose behaviors we have to deal with, right? absenteeism, underperforming, okay, late in work, not punctual, irregularity. So there'll be a lot of things. But how will you improve them? How will you bring them to, improvement plan? By only giving them data, talking about the situation, talking about the behavior, and then what kind of an impact it will have. Then in the end, we talked about conflict management. They should not be seen as dysfunctional. They should be looked at as opportunities for constructive behavior. So whenever you are looking at conflict, what model will you use? Let me see if anybody remembers. What model will you use? No?
Like ADDR model.
ADDR.
Yeah, very good. ADDR, right? Absolutely. Excellent. At least you remember because it's not there here. Okay. Great. So change is always comes with resistance, but how will you convert that resistance into commitment is up to you. How do you actually talk about the advantages of a change, whether it's a policy change, whether it's a technology change, whether it's a process change, it could be anything, right? Okay. So you guys, leaders, um, you have to actually give the mission of the organization to your team members and then help them to work with a sense of purpose and belonging. And then you will have so many hands. Instead of just two hands, you will be doing work with all the hands of your team members. And that's how you can work in one direction. Okay, guys? So that's all we have. It's a huge course, but then I had to compress it and make it small and ensure that you get everything. But whatever we did, I want your commitment to to practice not all things, at least one or two things when you go back. Please give a commitment, okay? And please write to us in our WhatsApp saying that we have started doing this and we have found results. We'll keep tracking your performance. Okay, guys? Any questions? I should be giving you an opportunity for at least one or two questions. Any questions? None. Huh?
These slides, these write-ups. So
Pardon?
we've been trying to these slides, these various methods. We've been writing down notes where we can, but is there some sort of handout or something that we can take away? I know you've given us a couple of documents.
Yeah.
Yes, there's the
So
frontline
even
leadership
this,
knowledge and the activities,
yeah.
but these various methods. Do we have that?
So you are going to get this entire PPT. There'll be a lot more interesting reading material, which is already there. Positive of time, I haven't shown you small clippings and which will help you, like the entire grow model. Okay. How to go about step by step, or for example, the entire coaching model, or the fishbone analysis model. So I'll be sharing this with Meritt, and she'll be sending it to your HR person, who in turn will share everything. Or I leave it to Vilma the way she wants to share everything. Okay?
Okay, thank you. One
Yeah.
other thing, like with
Yeah.
any college course, there's always a list of recommended reading books. So
Yeah.
besides Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, are there any
Yeah.
books you would recommend for us to read
Absolutely.
to
There are
learn more?
excellent one or two books where it talks about frontline leadership, okay, or
Okay.
performance coaching. So I will send you the names, and also I think I can share the ebooks, okay,
Oh,
so
perfect.
you can
Thank you.
read them. It'll be because in 4 8 hours, this is what one can. It's like a capsule, but well, there is so much because you have to practice. You can learn, read. It'll reinforce your patterns of behavior. Okay, guys? And
Okay.
wishing you all the best as great frontline leaders. Thank you for, your participation. Excellent. I know I had to, sometimes push you, nudge you, but that was important. Okay? Considering that is a virtual one. All right, guys. Thank you so much.